been coming to St Andrew's Church now for nearly 20 years and my eldest was only a baby, and I have come to this church. It's been our family church along with the school and the play school and all the groups that are here at the church. And when I first came here, there was a service on a Sunday morning. There might have been some early morning worship, but I was never aware of it. And after that, the church was empty all week. You'd have a key, you could come in and do whatever jobs you had to do. Now, this church is a thriving community. I mean, there's only one day in the week that the church is actually closed. There's 2 acts of worship, if not a 3rd activity going on. The church hall is now booked day, morning, afternoon and evening time.
I run the hall bookings for St Andrews, and we're very blessed with the location of the church because we're right in the centre of Hove, and as a result the space that we make available with the hall is in very high demand for a large number of groups because it's easily accessible. There's a lot of car parking nearby so people can get to it. Yeah, tower development of having more room space up there that we can use for the community. 3 new room spaces will be superb because it just adds so much more functionality and availability to the community. Obviously there's a great opportunity there of creating revenue which can be ploughed straight back into the church fabric.
I think when we look around us now in this tower that's falling apart, and you have this beautiful view looking down into the church, it is just ripe for doing something with. There's so many groups within this church that could be using it effectively, rather than it being a crumbling area that is used for storage. So we have a vital issue for space to cater for all the groups that are using the church nearly 7 days a week. The hall is being used 7 days a week and evenings in the week. We have a community using the church for worship on a Sunday morning. That's 250 people plus, over 100 children.
I oversee the message at St Andrew's Church. Currently we have 3 groups with a message. We've got the preschoolers, which is the largest group. We have school year reception through to year 3. And we have year 4 through to year 6.
I'm one of the volunteers for the message on a Sunday with a 0 to 5 group. So normally on a Sunday, everybody comes into church, all the children, and then when we sing the Gloria, the children have to leave to go to the church hall. So this involves walking out of the church into the open, and normally we've probably got something between 30 and 50 children, each with a parent, so we're kind of on 60 or 100 people. Regardless of the weather, whether it's pouring with rain, everybody has to troop out to head to the church hall where we run the activity. Once inside, the parents then stay with us because no one would feel happy leaving the children to sort of kind of get here and back on their own.
To say it's madness every Sunday when the message is running is slight understatement. The hall has to be split in half because there are actually 2 groups over there. The preschoolers with their parents and also the reception year and year 3 who don't have parents there but can be a group from 20 to 30 children but will have 2 volunteers looking after them. For the volunteers that work for the message, it can be a very, very difficult 20 to 30 minutes because there is no room to do anything. The ideal situation would be that one group would have the whole hall and the other groups would be moved up to the tower where we would be able to spread out. That would make life a lot easier, to say the least, and we would have more room, less fuss, and we can actually get the message across.
I help run the Triple F youth group, and we started a couple of years ago with numbers around 4 or 5, and over the last couple of years those numbers have increased up to around 18 people. We meet every Friday in the church hall, and it's a group for 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds. It will give us the space so that on Fridays, for part of our meeting time, we can come to the church tower, sit down and just chat informally and let the kids chat informally, but within the church environment with a greater connection to the church. We'll be able to have coffee space and full functions. It'll just be fantastic, whereas at the moment they're just sat in a voluminous hall. It's not terribly friendly, it's not cosy, and it's not really what they want.
I have seen it time and time again, where as they get older, there isn't space that is their space, and therefore they do leave church. So if we're to encourage young people to stay within the church, we do have to cater for them. And the new proposed space using the tower is absolutely perfect.
I'm a parent of 2 children of their age 4 and 3, and up until now being in church has been quite a challenge with children that age. Often it's meant that I miss out on a lot of the service and aren't able to participate in what's going on because my attention has been taken with trying to occupy and also keep quiet the children so that the rest of the congregation has a chance of being involved in the service.
With the children, noise is going to be cut off, although they can hear the service.
Yeah.
I think quite a few other people will come back.
Yeah, a lot of people left this church. I think they
yes.
complained about the children's noise, but you can't put little ones out of the church because
No.
they're the ones who's going to bring this church up. You know, in years to come when all of us are gone, the young ones will be the one to continue this church, isn't it? We can't put them out because Christ said, "Let the little ones come to me," and this is the house of God. We have to accept the children.
Bigger picture, I think, from a church warden's perspective, is the problem of inclusion and having to send so many people out of the service every week when they should really be here in the heart of the church, at the heart of our worship.
So the projects that are planned at the moment are so vital. I've been involved with the message group, the flower group, working with all the different church groups within this thriving community. And I've never seen it busier than it is now. Space is so key.
This is the parish office and it's in the vicarage in 17 Balance Gardens. It's in the middle of a private home, so it's a little inconvenient for the family and me sometimes. Sometimes we get in each other's way. There's 4 children here and a dog. It was never intended to be a parish office. We really do need some more space and it would be good to be on site. And then this is through to the laundry area and the tumble dryer, which I don't use myself. And I've got another cupboard here for paper and envelopes and things like that. So it would be really good if we could have an administrative area up at the church, on site for people that want to come and visit. It would just be much better, make more sense.
As with any church, we have specific storage needs. At the moment, the cupboards around are sort of haphazardly used with no dedicated areas. We've got to be aware of the full use of this room. We have to recognise space is limited and therefore we use space accordingly.
It's about reorganising the space. If we've got defined areas for the band, better space for the choir, better space around the font, we get huge baptismal parties and it'd be wonderful for them to have their own space. And so to have a better organised church, I think, it just meets our needs much better. And also, if we redefine the space, hopefully we can include the wider community a bit more as well.
This is a thriving church in an urban town. We have to move with the times. We have to create a living, breathing, working space that dictates the time that we're in, that is functioning to its full capacity so that we can say that we're a thriving church into the next century.